Could have answered that in the beginning. It would have been very
Councilwoman
simple.
Hudak and Councilman Gross.
Hudak.
Thank you, Ruth. Item 3, setting of meeting dates and public hearing. All meetings will be held at this facility, 1360 Route 22, at 7:30 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter may be heard, pardon me, unless otherwise noted. I move that we set the meeting dates as February 10, 2011 as a work session, February 17, 2011 as a work session, and February 24, 2011 as a regular meeting or a voting session. In addition, I note that we need to set public hearings on February 24, 2011 for the following matters with respect to the Planning Board, the Planning Department. Item 1, local law to amend Chapter 123 of the Town Code titled Subdivision of Land regarding final approvals. Item 2, local law to amend Chapter 138 of the Town Code titled Zoning regarding renewal of site plan approvals. And item 3, excuse me, local law pursuant to Chapter 138-93 of the Code of Southeast to amend the zoning code regarding kennels and animal hospital uses. And we can chat about that this evening or at a later date. Is there a second with respect to that calendar?
I second that.
Councilman Yee,
I would like to have a discussion. I'm understanding that Supervisor Wrights cannot make the February 3rd meeting, and I just wanted to make certain that the rest of the board could make the 24th. I do know it's a vacation week. I believe that's the winter vacation break for our school.
That's correct.
noted.
Winter break, that's right.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Against?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Item 4, Dog Control Officer Alan Jacknick and Stray Dogs. Alan, welcome.
Hi, good to be here. Just wanted to make the board aware of
Alan is our dog control officer, so if anyone doesn't know. Thank you.
just wanted to let the board be aware of a difficult situation that I'm dealing with now. The small stray dog, about 30 pounds. It's been loose now for about 10 days on Dingle Ridge Road area. I've had a lot of cooperation from some of the residents and Putnam Humane Society. I've been sending out volunteers. Can't get within about 40 yards of this dog. Doesn't appear to be a threat to anybody because you can't get near him. The Humane Society has set up 2 traps, not going near him. I've been in touch with the Kent Dog Control Officer. I'm going to be borrowing a trap from her to set up in another location where we had a sighting just this morning. The Humane Society has asked me to approach the board about the possibility of hiring a professional trapper. Now, normally, the only other time I've had a situation like this where a dog's been loose for more than a week, it was in the summer. We went about 2 weeks before, and we did finally trap the dog in a garage. If it wasn't so cold and snowy, I would have been preaching patience to everybody. But since the weather is what it is, I said I would come and let the board make a decision on that. Regardless of what you decide, I'm not giving up on either of these residents. So,
Is this a lost dog or a stray dog?
it's a stray. It's definitely, it has no collar. I don't know if it's been dumped there or if it's been wandering for who knows how long. Haven't gotten any calls on it. I mean, you never know, but all indications are that this is a classic stray. This does not seem to be anybody's pet.
Well, first of all, Alan, thank you for that. Does the animal seem to have, perhaps have hydrophobia?
No, not at this time. It's moving around fine. I mean, he's skinny, but somebody's feeding him, besides the one woman who first reported it who was trying to lure it into her house. So he's been getting food. I suspect other people have been feeding him. I mean, he doesn't look great, but I've seen a lot worse.
Then what, with respect to the winter conditions, has led you to ask for a professional trapper?
Only, we're hearing 5 below coming up, this and that. Again, if it was...
I understand. It's concern for the dog.
Yeah, this is all based on compassion
I
only
understand.
at this point. I don't see any At this point, I said, if I can't get within 40 yards of it, nobody can. So I don't think we have to worry about the dog biting anybody at this point.
Well, how would a professional trapper get it if you
Well, that's, this guy who I dealt with before, not in a trapping situation, he's very good. My guess is if he couldn't get it, nobody can, but I don't have a guarantee that this would work with him either.
How much good is he? I mean, dollar-wise?
About $300.
Okay, that's the point.
And we pay whether he obtains the animal or not.
You know what? I'm going to look into that. It's something that, unfortunately, I didn't think of until about half an hour before I came in here, and I couldn't get in touch with him. So I will ask him that question tomorrow.
Right, $300 with or without the dog, right?
I would hope that that's for
Getting the
capture.
dog, yeah.
Yeah, if we could put him on commission and be certain of a capture, that he have a capture.
Is that like the show Bounty Hunter, Dog Bounty Hunter? No?
Well, whatever works, but again, I understand the fiscal restraints that the board is under, and like I said, I'm not giving up either way.
You said we haven't gotten calls from the neighbors complaining or anything, or?
Well, I've gotten a couple of calls. The shelter is getting calls. My guess is the longer it goes on, you may start to get some calls also, which you could certainly refer to me, because some people don't know what we've been doing. I've been there at least twice a day, every day that it's not been snowing. The Humane Society is sending people out. The two neighbors I've been dealing with have been wonderful. So everybody's trying. We're giving it our best.
Did anyone check like with Danbury or
nothing.
North Salem, see if anyone
Nothing.
reported a dog
Nothing.
missing?
If you saw this dog, doesn't look like anybody's pet.
Can we put more than 2 traps out there?
Well, I'm going to put a third one out myself tomorrow, after the snow. I'm going to
Traps?
get have a heart trap from the Kent Dog Control Officer.
And we're using the vocabulary as trap, but obviously it's a humane device.
Have a heart traps.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would think that we should let him try with the traps. I'm not prepared to spend $300. These times, we did talk earlier, and I asked about possibly of a dart gun. You said the cold
Yeah, he
weather
said
would not
that
be a good
he
thing.
doesn't want to do it in this type of weather.
Okay.
So we just keep doing what we're doing.
I would think with this cold weather, the stray may try to go back to one of the households where it was being
Anything's
fed.
possible.
Yeah, so.
Again, I have more to let you know. This is, a suggestion from the shelter, and didn't want you to be caught off guard if neighbors started calling.
And Alan, just to confirm, this dog is not a threat to human or
He's got to
adults
get a
or
lot closer to me
children.
before I would say he's a threat to anybody. I mean, it's amazing how far away. I had liverwurst today that I wanted to throw to him. He's 50 yards away, and then he sees you, gone, and he takes off.
I think we should mention it's a very small dog.
Small dog, yeah, not a big
It's not a
dog.
coyote, anything like that.
No, it looks kind of mangy. If anything, he'd look like maybe like a small coyote, but it's not a
dog.
coyote. It's a dog.
Okay.
Okay. Then,
If you
should
could
we
find,
introduce a motion?
well,
Go ahead.
can you find out, maybe if we are going to introduce a motion, we would have to find out whether or not it's a $300
I'll
fee.
get that information tomorrow.
Is this something that we really need to make a motion for?
Yeah, to expend public funds, technically we should. That's
Well-
why Alan's here this evening. With respect to the $300, we could make it contingent on Alan negotiating an arrangement that capture would be a requirement for payment, which would be my suggestion if we contemplate going forward.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so you'll let us know tomorrow?
First thing.
Thank you.
All
And
right.
I make a motion on the recommendation of the dog control officer, Alan Jacknick, that we authorize up to $300 in expenditures to capture this animal as described, with the contingency that and the arrangement include capture prior to payment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm opposed.
Motion carries 4-1. All right, Alan, thank you.
Who opposed? Right.
Let me know. Councilman Gross.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. Perfect. Item 5, Diversified Transport and the Architectural Review Board approval. Are representatives from Diversified Transport with us this evening? Welcome, thanks for joining us.
Good evening. My name is Paul Pelucio. I'm with Fulchetti and Associates Engineering. I'm here tonight with Mr. Andrew Quinn. He's the owner of the property. As this board is aware, the application that we've proposed before this board is for architectural approval of a building to be located on Independent Way. It's approximately 15,000 square foot warehouse facility. It would be located on the west side of Independent Way, about 1,000 feet north of the train station. There's currently a site plan application pending before the planning board. All outside agency approvals have been acquired for the project. The project received a positive referral from the Architectural Review Board to this board back in, I believe it was June, and we're here tonight now to hear what this board has to say regarding the final approval of that architecture.
Well, I have in front of me a resolution, so I'll read that to you. It's Quest Properties Diversified Transport, 25 Independence Way, ARB determination, January 20th, 2011. Whereas the Town of Southeast Architectural Review Board, ARB, issued a report to the Town Board dated June 16th, 2010, in connection with the site plan application of Quest Properties, a.k.a. Diversified Transport, owner of the premises located at 25 Independence Way, tax map number 56, block 1, lot 28.1, the subject premise. And whereas the Town Board finds that there is sufficient reason in the record to support the determination of the ARB, now therefore be it resolved that after reviewing the maps, plans, and submissions of the applicant, together with the report of the Architectural Review Board dated June 16, 2010, which is incorporated herein by reference, the Town Board determines not to upset said determination and directs the Planning Board to continue its review of the project and to incorporate the ARB report in any final Planning Board determination, and be it further resolved that the Town Clerk shall forward a copy of this resolution to the Planning Board forthwith.
Thank you, Councilman. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Hudak seconds. Roll call vote, please, Ruth.
Councilman Cullen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hudak,
Yes.
Councilman Yee,
Yes.
Councilman Gross.
Yes.
Supervisor Wright.
Yes, motion
Passed
carries
5-0.
unanimously. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 6, Supervisor's monthly financial details. In part, we discussed this earlier with respect to the second component of the financial report. We are in the process in January of closing the books with respect to 2011. There were a number of transfers which we needed. There were transfers, for example, for highway overtime, and there were similar expenditures. There were special districts. There are special districts awards in there. I mean, not awards, but transfers requisite to closing the books. And if there are any questions, I'd be delighted to field them with respect to that report that you have. If not, let's, and more broadly, with respect to the financial health of the town, there's been a lot of flow of information, to be gracious. Not all of it accurate. But the town is financially in a strong position right now with an unexpended fund balance in excess of $1 million. So, are there any questions?
If this holds up through some of 2011, we're going to have to look at a code enforcement retrieval of an individual and/or parking. Because in talking with the tax receiver and code enforcement, they are absolutely inundated with responsibilities, and I don't know how it's going to work. So I think we have to keep that in mind as we move forward if we can afford it. I think it would be a cost-effective measure in the town's interest.
And I
Thanks,
think-
Roger. I'm interested in conserving funds, too, and I agree with you, because essentially what is transposed is that one code enforcement officer has taken the duties of one full-time person whom we trimmed and one part-time person who was working full-time, whom we also trimmed. So he's doing a good job, and he's got a full plate right now. And it might behoove us to enhance our revenue by adding someone, and by hiring a second part-time or possibly full-time code enforcement officer, with the caveat that it be a revenue-positive proposition, so that that person would foreseeably have an opportunity to fairly enforce the code, with the understanding that there would be an offset to the cost, which is only reasonable. Obviously, we're not talking about quotas.